Hi everybody, it's Gail from Gail's Bookish Things. I wanted to share with you this little unbagging. I have a item in here that I want to set up with you. So let's take a look. I did snip it open, but haven't really looked over it. So this is the Delfonics extra small pocket tote. This is the sky blue. This is called a utility pouch, and I bought this on Amazon. Probably could tell from the packaging. It's available at other places too. I like these pouches a lot. I have the medium size one, and it holds all kinds of miscellaneous journaling, crafting items, date stamps, markers, clips, pencils, and so forth. But this one will have a slightly different purpose and a little bit more focus. I'm going to take a drink of my water because every time I do videos, my throat starts to get froggy. I do apologize. I'm sure that's annoying to hear my voice all the time with me clearing it, but that's what I have to do. So anyway, it does have this cushion foam thing in there. And this is super cute. I like the shade blue. I like how they finish the seams. There's this inside pocket. It's sewn or held shut with these sewn in Velcro closures. And this is a little bit of different shade than the outside. I would call it more teal or maybe a turquoise. And then there's another one right here. And then you can see at the bottom, the seams are also finished there. I do appreciate that little extra touch. Just makes it look like a little more solid product. This has the YKK zipper. And I have learned that if you look on this little knob thing that holds the tab, I don't know if you can see it, but the YKK is written right across there. So, and I just say that because they're a zipper that's been around forever. So let me find a scissors and we'll cut this off. And of course, I can't find one when I need it. It's not where I thought, so we will use my knife. Okay, so what I bought this for was to see if my sealing wax items would fit in here. This is pretty small, as you can see, and it's really about the same measurement almost as this old box. This is a cedar box that, just a little side note, I've had since I was a little girl. Quite small. We purchased it in Hannibal, Missouri once when we took the train from Crestwood, Missouri to Hannibal and saw the Mark Twain home. It's starting to chip. It's actually kind of interesting. You can see the photo under the veneer, but it's like a different color. Anyway, I've had it around. It's kind of sentimental in that way, but it is kind of being outgrown. So even though this is the same dimensions, I think that this will serve the purpose a little bit better because of the flexibility. That's what I was thinking. Like I may have mentioned, I think I did, I was debating between the small and the extra small, but I went with this because I just didn't want it to become too cumbersome. I just wanted a small place to store the stuff I use for my sealing wax. And I don't have a huge collection of that. I do enjoy using these. I have found that the wick ones kind of work a little bit better for me than these wickless. You have to hold this near heat or like a lighter, and it just is cumbersome to me to hold the lighter, hold this, try to get it where you want it on the envelope and not get it all over the place. I have a little better luck with these. Let me set this down a moment. I wanted to grab this too. I forgot to grab these earlier before the video. These are transparent. They melt kind of clear, or semi-transparent. Sealing wax pellets, I guess you'd call them. I don't know. Got these from Van Ness. Pens. These from a variety of places. Talked about these recently. And so anyhow, I think that this will work well here just because the stuff will fit better. I think then the box, I guess I could return this and get the small if this seems too little, but I really don't think it will. My hope, as I say with everything, I don't want to accumulate too much, but I really don't. I enjoy using this, but I think probably all I would really need to get is to replace the wax and maybe every so often a new seal. I'll just show you what I have. This is a, can we get a good look at it? A clock, vintage looking clock with all the clockworks, kind of, maybe you could call it steampunk. These are kind of neat too. If you're not familiar with this, you can screw off these tops. There's also a different kind though that you need to watch out for because you need a different handle. This one has the screw part protruding from the actual stamp, so you need to get a handle that has the recess in it for that to work. I mean, I just pick it up and put it in the melted wax. So these are movable. Obviously, fountain pen nib. I got this at the New York Pen Show almost a year ago now. And then this one I recently bought off of Etsy. It's an octopus, and it makes a really good stamp. These are all pretty good. As far as deep. So the thing with this box is, as you saw, it will all fit, but it has to be just perfect. Sometimes I don't like having to arrange stuff that much. I just kind of want to put it somewhere. I'm more of a organized chaos type person. I have learned about myself. When I try to be too tidy, I frustrate myself, so I just kind of have to keep things in a general vicinity. Really like this bee one. This one that I showed you says thanks on it. This one I got from Baumkuchen. It says always and forever. And this one I recently bought in Herman, Missouri when I was on, an anniversary trip with my husband. This is looks like a reindeer. Be fun for the holiday season or fall, I think, really, whenever you want to have a deer on something. And then this is the one, this capital G, that I probably had, I want to say when I was 8. I got this maybe a little older, maybe 10. We used to walk up to the mall and go to this shop and buy cool things like sealing wax and stamps and posters and things like that. And then this one was actually my daughter's, but she doesn't use it, so I have it. Little heart one. This is just an inexpensive little one that she bought for her wedding invitations. I have the spoon that you hold over a little tea light. This is a copper bowl that a friend that lives in Nepal actually brought to me when, oops, sorry, I keep dropping things, when she was visiting. I need to clean it up, but it works really nicely for holding these little tea lights. And then of course you hold this over there. The thing about the spoon, as handy as it is, and it keeps your fingers from getting burned, is it accumulates wax in it. The best thing I've thought of to do is when it's still warm, take a wadded up paper towel and scrape it out while it's still soft. I didn't do that here, obviously. Sometimes it works out well because it gives you a little bit of dimension to your colors if you mix in another, but it's a little bit of a nuisance, a little bit sloppy, but I do like doing it anyway. The tip that I wanted to show you will have to do with this, but let's see if we can get this in here. I mean, see, that all fits. And it just feels like there's so much more room for it to accommodate quite a bit. It could accommodate a lot more. I can just kind of dig through here and get what I want, and when it's cooled off, I can throw it back in there. So I think I will actually like this. Another thing I could do is put some of the waxes the sealing wax sticks on the outside pockets. I just keep this in like a little locker I have in my craft area, so that would work. That's not a bad idea. The thing about Delfonics sometimes that I love and that I also find not to my liking are these pockets. So they're great, and yet when they get too full, I feel like they just gape too much, and then I feel like stuff's going to fall out. But I could put matches in here, something a little bit less likely to fall out. Maybe one of these. That would work. I kind of feel like that looks a little tidier than having the wax sticks. I had also thought that possibly these little screw-on heads could, I don't know if that's what you call them, but that's what I'm calling it, could go in there, but that kind of bugs me. I don't like that, so we won't do that. I will play around with the method of organizing. I want that, and I may just leave it like this because that kind of appeals to me. All the stuff in one place. So the little tip I wanted to share with you is the spoon here. Lots of YouTubers, I have like Butterfingers tonight, have a little stand that you can set this on. So you fill it with your little pellets or a chunk of one of the wax sticks, set it over the flame that has a little rack that holds it. Well, I wanted to get one. I had one in my cart from somewhere, and I thought, I just keep accumulating things. Do I really need to get that? Yes, it would be handy, but I may yet. I'm not saying that I won't, but I had this aha moment when I was in bed. And I thought, I wonder if this teapot warmer would serve the same purpose. It's a little bit of an overkill. It's a little more of a bulky item than the smaller things, a little bit, you know, smaller diameter like that, circumference. But I had this and it worked. So I had put the tea light in there, lit it, and I just set that on there and let it melt. So it serves the same purpose as the little holders you can get designed to hold a sealing wax spoon, but I didn't have to spend the money. And you can get them very inexpensively. I mean, some of the Amazon ones were less than $10, $6, $7, $8. But for me, for the moment, it just felt kind of good to use something I already had. I really like this teapot and this warmer. I don't use it all the time, so there's no conflict on, oh, I want to drink tea, but I can't because I'm melting sealing wax. There's not a conflict, so I can put this away and just get it out for whatever purpose. If you have one of these at home and you have one of these and you would like to try that little holder thing that holds a spoon for you while the wax is melting, maybe you'd like to give that a try. The purpose of that, I think, is just to hold it. You can do something else. You can stir it with a toothpick, and then it's ready to just lift and pour. It is kind of handy. And it's fun. It's fun having all this stuff, but sometimes all the things that go with a hobby can start to feel a little bit cumbersome or a little bit overwhelming. At least they do for me. I have that kind of thing going where I love a hobby. I want to have all the stuff that goes with it, and then it may fade in importance or interest to me, and then I have stuff sitting around that starts to feel like junk. So to overlap a few purposes is a good thing. And you could probably be thinking, well, you probably have pouches at home. Why did you buy a new one? Well, you would be right. But what I did like about this size is that it's very small. It's very manageable. It feels like everything is contained in a to-go manner. This little box was handy, but I mean, it just had to be arranged just so, and it just doesn't seem like a to-go item. I'll have to decide if I want to keep that. You know, I don't really need to, but since I've had it forever, there's a little bit of that sentimental value. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Another whole story. So I do like this. I do have other pouches, but they weren't as wide. They didn't have the, maybe, yes, the depth, but not this kind of depth. So they were narrower. They didn't open as wide. This gives you lots of room in these pouches. They really are rather amazing how much they can hold. So that is what I wanted to share with you. So anyway, there's that. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Take care. Bye.